Hello, all my wonderful fifth grade scientists. It's Coach Kelly here, or as you now know, Scientist Coach Kelly. I know you guys all assumed I was smart. However, I don't think you guys realize that I am actually a real scientist. And today I'm here to teach you specifically about a topic called conservation of matter. Okay, conservation of matter is really the entire weeks long learning. Okay, there's a lot of examples we're going to go about, but our main goal is to learn what it really is, be able to define it. Okay, I will know I have it when I look at several different phenomena to recognize real world examples of conservation of matter. So we're going to look at some very basic things that you already see on a daily basis that explain what conservation of matter is. At the end of the week, as a scientist, you need to be able to define conservation of matter and give me an example. Don't worry, I will be giving you lots of help all throughout the week. This should be a relatively easy task for you on Friday. If not, luckily, all of you in my remote class get to see me every day, and those of you in person walk past my office on a daily basis. So you are always welcome to stop by my lab and ask me any scientific questions you have. Okay, before we can move on, there are several vocabulary words, some of which you have seen multiple times, that we need to remind ourselves of and truly understand if we are going to know what conservation of matter really is. Okay, as you can see, conservation of matter is on here and it is bold. That means it's very important. It's the number one thing we want to try to understand. Okay, it's one thing if you can type in a definition or even Google it. It's another thing if you genuinely know what it means. So, I'm going to read an article to you, and it's a good one. And I also have it on this slide in case you need to reference it later as you're going down the line to do your vocabulary. Please pause at any moment in this video if you need to write down the word or have your scientific notebook sitting right next to you, jot it down, and you can type it in the slide later. Okay, this is all about the law of conservation of matter. Okay, this will give you several of the vocabulary word definitions. It also is your first hint into what is conservation of matter. So please pay attention. Okay, anything that has mass and takes up space is called matter. Hint, that was one of your vocabulary words. Air, water, rocks, and even people are examples of matter. Mass is a way to measure matter. The mass of an object is the amount of materials in an object. A bowling ball, for example, has more mass than a basketball. Everything from the electrons in an atom to the largest star has mass and is matter. Just as a quick side note on your slide, it says the difference between mass and weight. On Earth, mass and weight are exactly the same thing. When we stand on a scale, it is telling us how much mass we currently have. It is also telling us how much we weigh. However, weight really means the amount of gravitational push or gravitational pull that something has. So on Earth, it's exactly the same. However, if we went to the moon, our mass has stayed exactly the same. We are made up of the same number of particles and atoms. However, our weight would look significantly different. On the moon, I may only weigh 2 or 3 pounds because the gravitational pull is significantly less. Okay, back to the article. Matter can change from a solid to a liquid to a gas by adding heat energy. Changes of phase or state affect how the particles in the matter are moving. Different types of matter can be mixed together to make a mixture or a solution. Sugar in water or salt in water is an example of solutions. Solutions have particles in them that you cannot see and is evenly distributed. The sugar went through what's called a physical change. A physical change is a change in the shape or form of matter. Physical changes do not form a new substance. Matter can go through a chemical change that occurs when the particles that make up two or more substances are rearranged to form a new substance. So matter can change, but cannot just appear or vanish because the matter is conserved. This means that matter is conserved. All right, this is an important one. The conservation of mass is a scientific law that says mass or the amount of matter in an object is never made and never lost. If we mix 10 grams of water with 5 grams of sugar, when we weigh the mixture, we will see 15 grams. There was no changes in the mass, even though you don't see the sugar anymore. It didn't vanish, it just went through a change. What about what is left in the glass of water? What about when I left a glass of water out and after time the amount of water went down? Does the particles just vanish? No, they mixed with the air particles, so they went through a change. They're still there, we just can't see them. If we could capture all of the water particles that escaped into the air and put them back in the glass, it would be back to its exact original amount, hence the conservation of matter. Okay, that should have taken care of at least these first 3 ones and a little bit of this one. Okay, change was the physical or chemical change that can happen. Okay, and those are some of the examples. Properties. This was not talked about in this article. However, it was talked about 2 weeks ago with the last slides I gave out. Okay, properties. I'm making sure I get the right definition for you. Properties of matter are traits that you can measure an object by. Okay, some sort of measurable trait. It's also something that you could physically describe it as. So you could say hard, soft, squishy. You could also be talking about the properties of the elements that it makes up. Okay, so it could have fast moving molecules, it could have slow moving molecules. It could take the shape of something, it could not take the shape of something. It could be a solid, a liquid, or a gas. All of these things are things that we can either measure or that we can name and see about a particular object. Okay, right now you should probably press pause, finish all of your vocabulary, and then be ready to move on to the next slide. So what is conservation of mass? The most simple definition of conservation of mass is the mass of an object is never made or lost. You cannot simply get rid of mass. It doesn't just go away. Same with matter. It just doesn't go away. It does not just disappear. Okay? This is a great visual because this proves that matter is conserved. It doesn't change. It doesn't get lost. However, matter can change. That is something to really think about. Matter can never be lost, however, it can change. In this example, we can take an ice cube and melt it into water. We can take water and heat it up to the point of evaporating. That is a simple phase change. However, the mass should stay the same, whether or not it's a liquid or a gas or solid, it still stays the same. Down here, if we are mixing substances into a liquid, the matter of it is changing, but it is not losing or gaining anymore. We're not making new matter, we're simply adding two matters together. So the mass of an object is never made or lost, so it's simply conserved. However, it can change. That's important and something that you might have learned in previous grades, the different phase changes. Moving on, this is what you are doing the rest of today. I want you to think about what would happen if we mix salt and water. Now, this is a relatively basic concept. Many of us have, in fact, put salt in water before and know exactly what happens. If you don't, feel free to Google it with your teacher's permission. However, what I really want you to think about is answering these 3 questions. What happens to the property of water if we add salt? Remember, this is something we can either measure or it is something that we can physically describe it as. You can talk about the maybe physical or chemical change in it. You can also talk about what you would see. What will happen to the mass of the water if we add salt to it? And then lastly, what caused the change? What caused the change in this solution? Okay, all 3 of these need to be written in complete sentences as you are a scientist like myself, and we do not just give simple one-word answers. So please take a minute to answer all 3 of these questions before going on to the next. Remember, hitting pause is totally fine. Now that you've thought through those 3 things, you've thought about the properties, the mass, and what exactly happened, what caused that change, you're ready to look at this picture. This is a balancing beam, right? A scale. And what this is saying is that water and salt over here is exactly the same as salt and water here. Weight or mass, the quantity before, we have our salt and our water. After, we have salt, water. And our weight is the same as these two things put together. Okay, explain this picture in your own words. What is it really trying to prove? How does this picture confirm your previous thoughts or change your previous thoughts from this slide? Okay, now as scientists, we always admit when we are wrong. Going back and changing all of these answers to fit this picture does not make us a good scientist. A good scientist says, this is what I thought before, and this is what I thought now. We also, once again, we have thoughtful responses. We do not answer with one single word. We answer with complete sentences and thorough thoughts. This is the end of your work for today, so please be ready to move on to Tuesday's work tomorrow. Scientist Coach Kelly back for some work on Tuesday. Our job today is to continue to think about conservation of matter. And today's phenomena that we are looking at is what happens if we mix baking soda and vinegar. What happens to the property of vinegar if we add baking soda? Okay, what will happen to the mass and what caused that change? In order for us to move on today, I want us to do a quick review. Yesterday, we were talking about mixing water and salt. Today, we're mixing two different substances. Okay, what happens to the property of water if we add it? Okay, you could say that the water has now gained mass. It gained the mass of the salt. That is what happened. You could say it would look more murky, harder to see through. You could say that it is now dissolved, or you could even say that it became salt water. Those are properties that changed. You might even say that physically you could see granules of salt still in it. What will happen to the mass? The mass of water will change. It does not go away. We cannot make more, but it changes because now it is salt water and it has an additional mass put into it. The salt mass and the water mass now come together. Neither one of them lost mass or gained mass. They became mass together. This one is important to think about. What caused the change? If we come back up here to our slide, change is either from heating, cooling, a phase change, dissolving, or mixing. In this case, you could say two things. The change happened from dissolving or mixing the salt into the water. Now, along those same terms, now we need to think about what will happen if we mix baking soda and vinegar. Going back to what happens to the property of the vinegar, what will happen to the mass of the vinegar, and what caused that change. Remember, scientists use complete sentences. We do not use one-word responses. Okay, before we move on to the picture. Take a moment before moving on to the next slide to fill out all three questions, and then you may move on to slide 8. This is again a very similar picture from yesterday. Okay, we have our scale, vinegar and baking soda, our new substances, and our graphs. Much like yesterday, recognizing the fact that the mass did in fact change after adding the two substances together. Okay, I want to give you a little bit less help on this day because now you're starting to hopefully understand the idea that when we mix two substances together, the mass changes. We did not make our own mass. We did not lose any mass. It just changed. So try to explain this picture. What is it really trying to prove to us? How does that confirm what you thought on the last page? What did you think was going to happen when we mix baking soda and vinegar? Okay. After you're done with this, we have one more phenomena for today.